On Thursday, West Virginia Governor Jim Justice held a virtual press briefing about the state's COVID-19 response. The governor began the press briefing by honoring the West Virginians who have recently died from COVID. Governor Justice, who has been a strong proponent of COVID vaccines throughout the pandemic, emphasized that COVID is not yet over, but said, quote, "Almost no one needs to die from COVID if they are fully vaccinated and boosted."
Hello, everyone. It's Thursday, August the 11th. Regretfully, we've lost an additional 11 folks. Again, I always ask for your prayers. I ask for you that you absolutely reach out to these people if you know them. If you don't, if you don't know them, please offer up your prayers. Some way, somehow, they'll know. The 7,193rd death is a 71-year-old male from Barber County. The 7,194th death is a 72-year-old male from Kanawha County. The 7,195th death is a 58-year-old male from Randolph County. The 7,196th death is an 84-year-old female from Mason County. The 7,197th death is a 97-year-old female from Braxton County. The 7,198th death is a 97-year-old male from Mercer County. The 7,199th death is a 66-year-old male from Monroe County. The 7,200th death is a 91-year-old female from Lincoln County. The 7,201st death is an 80-year-old female from Ohio County. And the 7,202nd death is an 89-year-old female from Kanawha County. The 7,203rd death is a 65-year-old female from Berkeley County. Again, I ask for your prayers. This is wisdom that we're losing in great West Virginians. 7,203. It's incredible. It's a big number. Before I go any further, we have Nathan Takich that's on the phone, is doing the narrating, I guess, with us today. Nathan and his beautiful wife, Kelsey, they're leaving us. They've done incredible work. Tomorrow will be their last day. They're basically going home. They're going to Columbus, Ohio, and we wish them the best in every way. They have been an absolute talent that is off the chart, and they've done phenomenal work for us in this office. They've got a beautiful young family and lots and lots of good stuff. And to be closer to their moms and dads is so important. And so with all that, we absolutely wish them the very best. I know whatever they choose to do in their careers and everything, they'll do phenomenal because they have been such a strong asset to us. We wish them the best in every way. And I don't know why I'm coughing and everything. I ate one of these little breath mint deals, and I think I've still got part of it in my throat. But nevertheless, again, Nathan, Kelsey, God bless you and thank you so much for all you've done. And we just want you to not run off and be gone forever. We want you to know you're always welcome, and this is your home away from home. But really good stuff. As far as our numbers go, active cases are 3,250. We have 1,023 new positive cases. Our daily positivity rate is at 9.64, and our cumulative rate at 8.38. We have almost 556,000 people that have had COVID and recovered in West Virginia. We have 373 people that are hospitalized, 57 in the ICU units, and 8 on ventilators. We do still have some green counties and mostly yellow counties, and we've got, 4 gold counties. That's Boone, Logan, Wyoming, and Hardy counties. I remind you forever and a day about your booster shots. Again, one person 58 years old, one person 66, and every other person older. Everybody here older than 50. Absolutely, without any question. If you're 50 years of age and older, we want people 18 and older, I guess, the booster, your second booster is available 50 and older right now. So please, please, please get those booster shots. They're really, really key to you staying, healthy, out of the hospital, and hope to goodness, away from anything that could, approach death. So please, please get those booster shots. Numbers still continue to just slowly but surely get better. There's every reason in the world. You've heard General Hoyer over and over tell us that in the last month we've had 7,000 that were vaccinated for the first time. In the last week we've had, 2,000 or whatever it may be. So we're saving lives, but we wish it moved faster. But nevertheless, we're very thankful that it's continuing to move. Now, as far as our vaccine calculator that'll tell you when your shots are due and everything, all you got to do is go in on our website, and you can get all the information in that, and you can get registered into that. From the standpoint of our COVID vaccine info line, all the stuff's up on our website. We have 108 outbreaks in our long-term care facilities, none in the church community, 84 inmates, and 54 staff cases in corrections. Our rental assistance program is winding down. Eric of August was on the other day and told us a whole lot about that and everything, but I think we've done pretty daggum good. We've paid out well in excess of, I guess we're going to surpass $150 million in utility payments and rent payments and so on like that, where we've helped lots and lots and lots of folks, and there is still a chance to be able to apply and everything, but again, you need to get moving fast if you're going to apply. From the homeowners, the homeowners assistance program. This program can provide assistance for past due mortgage payments up to $15,000, past due utility payments up to $2,500, past due insurance, tax payments, and other housing costs of up to $5,000. You really, really need to call us and check in with us and see if we can get you qualified. I remind everybody about giving blood all the time. It's absolutely important that you, especially if you've recovered from this dreaded killer, check with your physician, please, and just see if there's a chance that maybe you consider giving blood, and we'd really appreciate it. Okay, here's a really, really biggie, especially for Wayne County. And the Wayne County Commission and just all the different folks that have done some really great work in regard to this. Today I am announcing that the West Virginia Department of Transportation will transfer ownership of the Heartland Intermodal Gateway in Pritchard to the Wayne County Commission. As chairman of the Board of Public Works, I brought this issue to the board at our last meeting, and we got approval to make the transfer. Everybody unanimously approved. And we're really, really proud to be able to do this, because at the end of the day, without any question, the folks that are on the ground can give us the best guidance and make the best decisions as to what to do. The local leaders in Wayne County will do great work here, and these people that are personally committed to this, will absolutely make the best decisions, along the way. I want to especially thank all the Wayne County Commission for taking this project on, and it's just really, really good stuff, and so I know they'll do a great job. Our jails have a state of emergency at this point in time. So today I am issuing a state of emergency to address critical staffing issues or shortages with our correctional facilities across West Virginia. During the last legislative period and everything, we had a bipartisan, group that we tried to get through to do, a regional pay differential to to folks in certain areas, like the Eastern Panhandle, where the shortages are off the chart, 60% maybe. And so absolutely, we just haven't been able to compete and attract folks and everything into these positions. So today, you know, the state of emergency that we're putting into effect today will enable us to put the National Guard, you know, that will move the National Guard in to bridge us through this emergency period until we can get folks hired. So what'll happen is, you know, our National Guard who's come to the rescue and saved us over and over, you know, will step up and be able to help us staff these facilities until we get the people hired. And so nevertheless, you know, I hate like crazy that that the bill stalled, you know, in the legislature and everything. We didn't get it through last time. Maybe we'll get it through this time coming up and everything, but nevertheless, this is really important that we do this right now. We're going to end up with a bad situation, and it could end up really bad. So National Guard again stepping up. Thank them in every way, and so we'll continue to work on it. We'll continue to try to hire the folks, and may have to revisit, you know, some type of regional type pay. And here's another really good thing. Lifelong friend of mine has absolutely the most incredible resume under the sun. Been running our SBA, and so Dave Roach, that I played golf with at Marshall University 10,000 years ago, you know, I'm proud to say that Dave's older than me. Thank God, you know, and so, but Dave was a terrific golfer. We played together on the Marshall golf team a long time ago, but Clayton Birch has now moved on, and Clayton is going to be the superintendent for the West Virginia schools for the deaf and the blind. And it's a great position, a great fit for Clayton. His family's there and everything. It gives him the the ability to continue doing great work and be close with his family and everything. Couldn't be better. But back to David. David is incredibly qualified, and he'll step right in and he'll just do great work. And I know he will and everything. And I also want to take time to thank our new board president and all the board, and, you know, our past president, Miller Hall, and all the board, but our new board president, you know, Paul Hardesty, for making a quick decision. And you know, and Paul was solidly in David's camp and everything, because we all know how incredibly qualified this man is, and we all know the great job that he's already been doing for us in the school building authority. So with that, David, we're tickled to death to have you on board again, and you've stepped up again in serving West Virginia. You've done it over and over as superintendent, wherever it may be, and all the great stuff you've done. So I probably can't handle you in golf now because you're still halfway skinny, and I'm surely anything but that, and broke up a little bit more. But nevertheless, you're a great man, and I'm really proud to be really close friends. So thank you so much. That's all I've got right now.
All right. Thank you, Governor, and thank you for the personal shout out. You're the absolute best. I really appreciate it. Let's go to Dr. Clay Marsh, our coronavirus czar.
Well, good morning. As the governor has told us, and really told us time and time again, that we are in the position today where we can address COVID-19 in a way that very few, if any, people need to die from this now treatable and even potentially preventable disease. So yesterday in the United States, we saw 175,000 new cases. And as we've discussed several times on these press briefs, we are almost certainly underestimating the real number of cases by a factor of at least 5 and maybe as much as 7 to 10. So likely that reflects more like 750,000 to maybe 1 million people infected yesterday. We also saw 872 deaths in the country yesterday from COVID-19, which is, I've tried to put into context of airplanes, would be more than 2 747 airplanes crashing yesterday. So COVID is not over, but as the governor's reminded us, there is just so much real world data that suggests that staying up to date with your vaccines and being fully vaccinated makes the single biggest difference in determining life and death for at least some people. And we know that the majority of deaths are in people over 50, about 95% of the deaths, and about 77% of the deaths are in people over 65. And still in that group, with the people that are eligible for the fourth vaccine or the second booster, we've only seen an uptake in the mid 30% range. So that is certainly too little based on the incredible protective features of these vaccines. So we absolutely encourage, as the governor did, everybody to use the vaccine calculator and stay up to date with your vaccines. As we mentioned last press brief, the new tests for the new vaccines with the Omicron sort of selective vaccines that are being produced by Pfizer and Moderna have just started their clinical trial work and assessment, and therefore it's going to be a bit before they're available. The projection is September or October, and probably just based on the timing, maybe more like October. So it gives us even more reason for people not to wait on those vaccines. And we anticipate that if you get your up-to-date vaccine now, then when these vaccines are available, they will also be open to people who have been previously vaccinated with vaccines that are not Omicron specific. In addition, important to test yourself. We know that the index nationally for Walgreens this week is 37% of people that have been tested with PCR tests in Walgreens stores across the country have been positive. In West Virginia, the people that have been tested in Walgreens stores have tested positive at 39%, 2% higher than the national average. So we know that a lot of people are likely infected who have symptoms, and therefore testing yourself with any new symptoms is important. And if you're in those vulnerable age categories over 50 years old, please talk to your physicians or healthcare providers about getting treated with Paxlovid. There's also confusion over Paxlovid, the so-called rebound effect. And we know from a wealth of clinical real-world data and studies that the issue with what appears to be a rebound effect is really just that with the BA.5 variant particularly, the virus is harder to clear by the immune system because it evades the immune system better. So it sometimes needs a longer course of the therapy to be able to help the immune system finally clear the virus. The drug Paxlovid works to reduce the replication of the virus while the immune system then can work to clear it. And because this virus is harder to clear, sometimes the suppression of the virus by the drug is not long enough. So the approach that I think most people feel is right today is please don't hesitate to use Paxlovid on people who are at risk, reduces hospitalizations and risk of death by over 90% in clinical trials. But if people do get better and then get worse, then certainly, using the Paxlovid for another 5 days is a reasonable alternative. But many healthcare providers seem to be confused by that and are worried that rebound means that somehow resistance is at play. And in fact, that does not appear to be true. And so we don't want to withhold a potentially life-saving treatment for a misperception. So we very much appreciate the work of all the healthcare providers and other people that are helping keep our state safe. But please, please, please use the power that is within our hands and make sure that you're protecting yourself and your family and community from the worst outcomes of COVID-19. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Marsh. Secretary Bill Crouch with the DHHR and Dr. Ayn Amjad, our state health officer, are also joining us today and are available for questions. Major General Jim Hoyer, director of the Joint Interagency Task Force, had a prior engagement today and will rejoin us next time. So now go to questions from members of the media. The first today from Kenny Bass with WCHS and Fox 11.
Thank you, and Nathan, good luck on your next venture. Thank you for all the help that you've given me in your time in the administration. Really appreciate it. Wish you well, and there's nothing like going home and being with family. So enjoy and hope to see you again soon. Governor, I have a question about, you mentioned the state of emergency with the correctional facilities. There's probably an unmentioned state of emergency in the education system in West Virginia. The latest numbers coming out showing that only 28% of West Virginia students, I believe they're in 3rd and 8th and 11th grades, those numbers for the standardized testing, 28% met standards in science, 33% met standards in math, 42% met standards in reading. I'm not an educator, but those numbers don't seem very good. They seem abysmal. So can you comment on where we stand right now, at least as you react to those numbers, and also what the chances are that Mr. Superintendent Roach and that President Hardesty can somehow get in there and work some kind of solution to fix them?
Well, Kenny, I'll take the second part first. I've got all the confidence in the world in Paul Hardesty and David Roach. And I had, incredible confidence, in Clayton Birch and Miller Hall. But with all of that, Kenny, we got a serious problem, don't we? That's all there is to it. Now we've had absolutely a problem for a long time, and we can do better. That's just all there is to it. And we have got, and whether people like me saying this or not, I truly believe that we got, for the most part, an incredible amount of really good teachers. But we absolutely have some bad eggs too, like anybody would have anywhere. Without any question whatsoever, even our best can do better. That's all there is to it. I can do better. All of us can do better. We have to do better. These numbers are nothing like what we want them to be. And absolutely with all in us, and I know for crying out loud, we've been through a really tough go of it. And our teachers have been heroes. And so, the same with all of our service personnel and everything else, because they've stepped up, they've put their life on the line, their families' lives on the line, and everything else. Now, I know it's been tough, but the net of the whole thing is just one thing and one thing alone. We can all do better. Now, personally, I believe just this. I do not completely immerse myself in a per se number. And therefore, just looking at the number, say, our kids are deprived or our kids are not, are way behind and everything else, because there's a lot of other things going on that are really good within our schools. But Kenny, I'm a real believer in this too. We need to excel in reading, writing, and arithmetic. Now, we have to excel in all the other things, but without any question, we have got to be able to read, we've got to be able to write, and we've got to be able to do math. So, Kenny, I absolutely believe that, our new president of the board, President Paul Hardesty will do fabulous work, and he's got a lot of experience and he's got a lot of determination, and David Roach off the chart. So, I've got a lot of faith that they'll get it done.
All right, thank you, Kenny. Next, we'll go to Charles Young with WV News.
It's Charles Young with WV News. I just wanted to ask a few questions about sending the National Guard to the prison. So do we know how many Guard members we're going to be assigning? Do we have an idea of the duration of the assignment? And then, Governor, I know you framed this as a hiring issue, but could you talk about how COVID has, exacerbated or added to those problems? I think as of today, there are 54 correction staff members who are positive. Has that added to these ongoing problems? Thank you.
Well, Charles, we all know, and jumping back just a second, on education, how tough was it for kids to have remote learning? How tough was it in West Virginia, when you didn't have broadband all over the place and kids trying to learn from home? COVID has taken a big time toll. From the standpoint of Secretary Sandy or our Adjutant General and everything, and them doing great work to really be able to figure this out as to how many guardsmen and guardswomen that they're going to have at our prisons and everything, or at our corrections and everything to do this. You know, the executive order allows up to a year, and I don't have the final reports from them on how many guardsmen and guards ladies that we're going to have, but Charles, without any question, exactly what you're just saying. You know, there's been times when COVID has been running rampant with our staff and inmates at the same time. We know it hasn't gone, it's not left and everything. We know there's still absolutely struggles and obstacles in our way, but our correction officers, you know, were on the front lines. They were heroes just like many, many, many have been. They've stepped up over and over and over, and I'm sure they'll continue to do so. But in this situation we have right now, the bottom line is we've got to be able to compete, and we got to be able to attract folks to us, and we absolutely have to do that to support our correctional facilities like we should. So there's lots of moving parts here, but we can use this as a bridge, but we've got to be able to attract and reward these people in a way that we absolutely keep the proper staffing, because it's, you know, that's another one of our big obligations.
All right, thank you, Charles. Next, we'll go to Mark Curtis with Nexstar Media. Mark, you are still muted.
There we go. Sorry, technologically challenged. First of all, let me join the chorus of voices in the shout outs to Nathan Tackett. What a class act. Nathan, you're a great reporter to compete with on the street. You've been a great asset in the governor's office and have been very helpful to us in the press. By the way, we do own a TV station in Columbus, so if you're looking for work, I'll hook you up. Governor, I just got done interviewing County Commission President Ken Carper here in Kanawha County. He is very concerned about the rising costs of jail costs to the individual counties in this state. This may dovetail into your state of emergency. Kanawha County, his bill for jails is up $350,000 already this year. They're estimating it'll go to $700,000. He says this county can pay it, but many counties are more than $1 million behind in their payments. The question is, and he said to make it clear to you that he's not blaming you. He asked me to say that to you. He's not blaming you. But what needs to be done to fix the funding problem for our county jails across the state? And he's concerned, as many county commissioners are, that if Amendment 2 passes in November, it'll only make the situation of jail funding even worse.
Well, Mark, COVID has brought us a lot of things. Inflation has brought us a lot of real struggles. Costs have risen across the board. It doesn't matter if it is at our jails or wherever it may be. You know, we, thank goodness, have got a state that is moving in the right direction. And economically, from that standpoint, we have the abilities to do things today that we didn't have the ability to do before. We'll fix this, and we'll absolutely support our counties, and we'll absolutely, step in and do what has to be done. At least I think that, and I feel very confident that our legislature will do exactly the same thing. So, Mark, I absolutely am totally confident, and I think Kent's doing a terrific job. And all that being said, I just believe that we got a problem. We have absolutely managed and minded the store properly. We've got incredible surpluses, and we can address the problem and make sure that our counties stay whole and move forward in a really good way. So I am 100% confident, without any question, that everything's going to be fine there.
All right, thank you, Mark. Governor, back to you to close it out.
Well, Nathan, and I wish Kelsey were here, but again, we'll miss you. You have really, really, really been special. Now, I think you're pitiful at golf, but nevertheless, don't try to take on a second career and let it be golf, But we will really miss you, and we'll really miss Kelsey and her incredible talents, and we wish you the greatest in every way. I guess wrapping up from my end, you know, Dr. Marsh, I always listen, I always really pay really close attention to our experts, and Dr. Marsh said 872 folks died yesterday in the United States. That's alarming. It has to be. It has to be. He said almost, and I underline almost no one needs to die from COVID now. Now think about that. I mean, I really don't get it. I don't get it. But if our coronavirus czar, that is the smartest guy on the planet just about, and with all that being said, he's saying almost no one needs to die from COVID now. All we got to do is get vaccinated, keep our boosters up to date, and absolutely almost no one needs to die from COVID now. He also said that 39% of those tested in Walgreens in West Virginia, I think in the last week, 39% of them tested positive. It's a big number. It's higher than the national average. We're older than most all in the national average. We have more chronic illnesses than the national average, for sure. With all that being said, if you get this, likely that you could very well have some health issues, and you get this and you're completely unvaccinated or you haven't gotten your booster shots, you're probably going to be in trouble. And there's just no need. So please consider, and just look at all the good that we've got going on in West Virginia, and a problem like corrections that has just come up. We have the means to be able to fix it. We are not in a position to where we'd have to say, well, you know, I don't know what we can do. All we've been able to do is cut and cut and cut and cut. Well, that's the way it was. 6 years ago, that's exactly the way it was. And we would not have been able to have done doodly about it today. We can fix it. And absolutely, you can absolutely put yourself on a pathway that has very, very, very little exposure with the proper vaccinations and the proper boosters. So nevertheless, that's all I've got today, and God bless each and every one of you. I love you with all my soul. Thank you so much.